This is 5 on your side at 10.
We begin tonight with results coming in right now from the Illinois primary. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. The polls closed 3 hours ago, and some races have already been called. We have live team coverage of the big races with crews in Effingham and Taylorville.
And our political editor, Mark Maxwell, will show us how tonight's races will shape the future of the Illinois Republican Party. But let's start with the crowded field in the Republican primary for Illinois governor. 6 candidates are vying for the chance to unseat incumbent J.B. Pritzker in November, and it's State Senator Darren Bailey with 57% of the votes so far, who has won the nomination handily.
Our Holden Kerwicki is live in Effingham tonight with the Darren Bailey campaign. Holden.
Well, Ann, you could really feel the energy in this room building all throughout the night. They came in confident, but every time the numbers were reported in this room, it really just erupted. And then about an hour and a half ago, the people here just went crazy when it was announced that Darren Bailey would in fact be the GOP nominee to challenge Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker in the November election. In his acceptance speech, Bailey continued to push his talking points, stating that if elected governor, he would fully fund police departments across the state, eliminate critical race theory from schools, and find a way to balance the budget and provide tax relief to Illinois families. But before they could look ahead, the chairman of the Illinois GOP actually noted how highly contested the primary race was, and they need to reunite his party. So we asked Bailey directly how he plans to do that.
My competitors told me they are more than willing to get on board and work with us to make sure that we bring unity to the Republican Party. The Republican Party will now have leadership, which has been lacking, and we will bring unity through our different teams and what everyone has learned from across the entire state of Illinois.
GOP leaders here in Illinois may have actually tipped their hands a little bit as to what that November election and the run-up might look like, billing the governor's race as, quote, a silver spoon trust fund baby versus a Southern Illinois farmer. Reporting live in Effingham, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
And over in the Democratic primary for governor, as expected, a blowout. Incumbent J.B. Pritzker took in more than 90% of the vote over his opponent, Beverly Miles.
Tonight, we're also following the 15th congressional district race. The district covers a large portion of central Illinois and received a major facelift due to redistricting. The Republican race pits 2 incumbents, Rodney Davis and Mary Miller. About 40 minutes ago, Davis conceded the race.
And our Pepper Baker is live in Taylorville, Illinois, where Davis talked to the media earlier tonight. Pepper.
Well, Mike, and Congressman Rodney Davis's 5-term reign ends tonight as he concedes in the race for the 15th congressional district seat against freshman Representative Mary Miller. Now, Davis watched the election results with his family here in Taylorville. It's his hometown. Miller had a watch party in Quincy, Illinois, after doing some final campaigning. Now, this race is the result of the 2020 census. Illinois lost a congressional seat from the redrawn maps. The 2 Republican incumbents, 5-term Davis against freshman Miller, battled it out for the 15th congressional seat. Miller took more than a 10,000 vote lead over Davis, with more than 80% of the precincts reporting in. She posted on social media encouraging supporters to vote, and she highlighted her endorsement from former President Trump. Davis worked closely with the Trump administration. He responded to the former president's backing of his opponent earlier today.
Look, I think the president got some bad advice and made an endorsement that was wrong, but I'm not going to run away from him or the record that we built together. Things happen in endorsements.
Now, Davis sent a statement congratulating Miller and former President Trump's victory. He now says that he looks forward to campaigning with the other Republicans up and down the ballot in Illinois between now and November to take back the state and Congress. Live in Taylorville, Pepper Baker, 5 on your side.
Now, the new Illinois 13th Congressional District, Rodney Davis's old seat, still includes portions of St. Clair, Madison, and Macoupin counties. 4 Republicans, including community activist Regan Deering and self-proclaimed political outsider Jesse Rising, are in this race. Deering with 35% of the vote right now. They'll face, no surprise here, Nikki Budzinski, who worked in the budget office of the Biden administration. She won her race over David Palmer easily tonight.
Our political editor Mark Maxwell joins us now after covering these results and watching them come in on our live stream platforms.
And Mark, President Trump's visit to Illinois appears to have paid off.
Mike and Ann, there is some real evidence of that, too. We're going to show it to you right now. The Trump effect proved just too powerful for Rodney Davis to overcome in the end. Democrats drew the 10-year veteran into that new district. You showed it to us moments ago. A lot of new rural territory they had to compete over. The biggest battlefield on that map with new voters was in Adams County on the western border of the state. The former president visited those fairgrounds in Mendon near Quincy to rally supporters with Mary Miller. And look at, that's the county, not the overall district, but Adams County right there, 79% to 21%. That's the Trump factor. The rest of the district, it was much closer. We're also getting our first look at the primary turnout and what it might mean for the new Republican nominee to run for governor, Darren Bailey. His critics said that he's just too far to the right. He can't win. He's acknowledged he's farther right than Republicans past. But look at DuPage County. Governor Pritzker said he turned DuPage into Blue Page back in 2018. Well, Darren Bailey outperformed expectations there. A lot of Republicans said there's no way he can do well in the suburbs. There's evidence in DuPage County that he's exceeding expectations in an area where Republicans are hoping they can carry across the finish line again. We're looking at the November matchup. How will Darren Bailey fare against Governor Pritzker? Let's take another look. I think we have some more graphics for you as well in other parts of Cook County. There it is. This is the Chicago Republican voter base, 48%. For Darren Bailey. So at least there's that primary base energy there. Can he carry that momentum into the general election? We don't know. We have to mention this fact. Darren Bailey won with a lot of help from J.B. Pritzker and national Democrats. The Democrats collectively spent $36.9 million either beating up Richard Irvin or elevating Darren Bailey. Now Bailey has 5 months to try and pivot and make Pritzker regret that gamble.
Mark, thank you. All of tonight's election results are running at the bottom of your screen. You can also text the word results to 314-425-5355 and we'll send them to you on your phone. Also tonight, we're working to uncover new details about the single car crash that killed 3 children in Florissant.
Earlier today, manslaughter charges were filed against the 13-year-old driver. Our Robert Townsend joins us now live from the Florissant Police Department with what he's learned tonight.
Mike and Ian, I spent the day on social media and on the phone digging for new information about the case. My photographer and I also went back to that scene in North St. Louis County along South New Florissant Road, where police tell us 2 13-year-old boys and a 9-year-old boy died in a car crash early Monday morning. Now, investigators said the car caught fire after hitting a tree. Today, police did not release any new details about the victims or the accident. They initially told us they believe speed was a contributing factor. This afternoon, I talked on the phone to a friend of one of the 13-year-olds. The friend told me his buddy was going to celebrate his 14th birthday next month and going to the 9th grade in August. Tonight, there are still many questions, including who exactly were the 3 boys who died and whose car were the kids riding in at the time of the wreck. Now, as for that 13-year-old driver who's now facing manslaughter charges, tonight he's in the custody of St. Louis County Family Court. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this developing story. We're live in Florissant. Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
A Rittner High School teacher is facing charges tonight, accused of inappropriately touching a 15-year-old student. A grand jury indicted 60-year-old Richard Bell on felony charges. He's been a choir teacher at the school since 2004. Bell faced similar allegations in 2008. Prosecutors said he had signed a document stating he would not touch students and would maintain appropriate relationships. The district has put Bell on administrative leave. Tonight, this Berkeley man is in jail, accused in a double homicide in Pine Lawn. 20-year-old Trevante Sane is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Investigators say he shot and killed Jacob Pierce and Marco Willingham on Hamilton Avenue on Friday night. Sane is being held on a $500,000 bond.
A 4th person has died from the Amtrak train derailment in northwest Missouri. Tonight, 15 people remain in the hospital. More than 150 people were hurt when the train headed from LA to Chicago hit a dump truck at a railroad crossing. The impact caused several cars to overturn. The driver of the dump truck died. The 3 other victims were passengers on the train. Also on board, 2 Boy Scout troops who jumped into action to help others.
Adrenaline kicked in and I just knew what to do. Like all these years of merit badges and stuff, and you just never think you're gonna use it. I just grabbed my shoes. That's all I needed. I just got my shoes and got out, and I just started going down the train and trying to bash windows and carry people out.
The NTSB is investigating the crash. Tonight, a St. Peter's woman and 3 firefighters are recovering after a fire which destroyed a home. The fire broke out around 6:30 this morning on Wood Oaks Drive. You can see there's nothing left. A woman was rescued from the home. She is in serious condition right now. The 3 firefighters were treated for smoke inhalation, and the cause of the fire is under investigation.
A father on trial accused of murdering his own son with special needs.
He did express that it was becoming more and more difficult to care for Christian.
The picture prosecutors painted of DeJuan Ferguson with powerful testimony. Expanding the court is adding Supreme Court justices the answer for abortion rights supporters. We verify if it's even possible.
Stevie, weather returns to the bi-state area just in time for the long holiday weekend, when you're most likely to need the umbrella as we head towards the 4th of July.
New details in day 2 of the criminal trial of DeJuan Ferguson. He's accused of murdering his 9-year-old son nearly 20 years ago.
Court adjourned just hours ago, and today prosecutors painted a picture of neglect, while Ferguson's defense claims otherwise. Brent Solomon breaks down the latest from the courtroom.
Hey there, Ann, Mike. Today the jury heard the 911 call from 2003. DeJuan Ferguson told a dispatcher someone had just stolen his car with his son inside it as he was trying to take the 9-year-old to the hospital. He said he could not see who took the car. Prosecutors claim all of that is bogus.
You're looking at early images of little Christian Ferguson, his parents speaking with 5 on Your Side back in 1995, explaining their son's rare condition that required special attention to the foods he ate and how much of it. This is 7 years before little Christian disappeared. Flash forward to June 2022.
I don't know where my child is.
The boy's father is standing trial for murder, although Christian's body hasn't been found. In day 2 of the trial, an investigating officer telling the court there was something strange about the father's claim.
I said my past experience, people that steal a car want a ride. They don't want a kidnapping charge.
When Christian disappeared in 2003, he couldn't walk or talk due to his deteriorating condition.
He did express that it was becoming more and more difficult to care for Christian. He didn't know how he was going to continue to do that, and that it was getting financially more of a burden to him.
Tuesday's testimony coming a day after a nurse told the court she would often show up to the home to find the 9-year-old in bad shape.
He would be dirty, smelly, always happy to see me though. Urine used to even be in his shoes.
Would there be urine in his bed as well?
Yes, but sometimes no sheets even on the bed.
The defense working to convince the jury Ferguson was a loving father who did all he could to care for his son.
And medical experts testify today the child's 30-day supply of life-saving drugs weren't filled for months. The defense tried to counter the state's witnesses, saying plenty of people saw Ferguson care for his son. We'll be back in the courtroom tomorrow.
Brent, thanks. The COVID booster shot you get in the fall could be redesigned to fight the super contagious Omicron variant. An FDA panel made that recommendation today, saying updating shots could give us more durable protection against the virus. Health officials say the U.S. faces a COVID outbreak this fall as immunity from the vaccine wanes and people head indoors. Tonight, the CDC has activated its Emergency Operations Center in response to the monkeypox outbreak. The U.S. is also deploying nearly 300,000 vaccines in an effort to stamp out the spread. These doses are for people with confirmed or presumed exposure to the virus. Right now, there are more than 200 cases reported in the U.S.
More fallout tonight after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Today, the Health and Human Services Secretary pledged to make the abortion pill more available. More than half of all abortions are performed using a 2-pill regimen. The FDA has approved the drug for up to 10 weeks into a pregnancy. Last week's decision leading to a renewed push to change the makeup of the Supreme Court. Our Verify team looked into that possibility. Here's Abby Larico.
Among the protests, we heard from a lot of people who want to ensure abortion is constitutionally available nationwide, and they're called to expand the number of justices on the Supreme Court. That's because of the 9 justices we have now, a majority are considered conservative. And to supporters of abortion access,
this decision illegitimate. Supreme Court is really too small if you think about it.
So let's verify, does the Constitution allow the number of Supreme Court justices to be changed? Our sources are Article 3, Section 1 of the Constitution, this FAQ page from the Supreme Court website, and prior interviews with Georgetown and George Washington University law professors. The Constitution says in part, quote, the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and that the judges, quote, shall hold their offices during good behavior, but doesn't say how many judges that should be.
The Constitution has nothing to say about the number of justices, and indeed the number has changed. There's nothing magic about the number 9.
In fact, the number changed a lot in early American history. In 1789, the first Judiciary Act set the number of justices at 6. During the Civil War, it got up to 10. In 1869, Congress settled on 9 justices, and that number hasn't changed in 150 years, though presidents have tried.
Most famously, Franklin Roosevelt tried to increase the number of justices on the court, and there was backlash to that.
We can verify, yes, the Constitution allows the number of Supreme Court justices to be changed. But along with the president's signature, it would literally take an act of Congress. If this argument sounds familiar, last spring, House Democrats introduced a bill that would expand the high court to 13 justices, but that never went anywhere. Speaker Nancy Pelosi said pretty quickly that she had no plans to bring it up for a vote. It's also important to note President Biden has said in the past he does not believe in expanding the number of justices. His administration said over the weekend that's still the case. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
What would you like for us to verify? Send an email to verify@ksdk.com.
All right, we've got a holiday weekend coming up. It's still a few days away, but everybody's thinking about it and thinking about whether or not we're going to have storms for 4th of July fireworks.
You know, and that's always the case, it seems like 4th of July around St. Louis. That chance seems to be there. And certainly if we can have weather like we've had the last couple of days, this is over in Belleville, looking from the Art on the Square building as the sun sets tonight. Wouldn't it be great? It would. But it's not happening this weekend. 85 degrees, that was our top temperature today. But I tell you what, you look at the records going back to 2012, we started a stretch. 108 degrees is our record high for today. That occurred 10 years ago today, and it started a string of 10 days in a row where we were at or above 100 degrees. We had a couple of days at 108, 21 days that year in the summer of 2012 that we saw temperatures at or above 100 degrees. One of the hottest summers you'll remember around the St. Louis area, unless you get back and can remember into the 50s and even farther back into the 30s. There were a couple of really hot summers. It's been pretty quiet across the area. Skies have been clear. That'll continue overnight. With this dry air in place, we wake up tomorrow to temperatures in the 50s away from town, and we're looking at temperatures in the low 60s to start tomorrow. Those dew points have been really nice. That's going to change too as we head towards Friday, Saturday, into next week. It gets muggy around the area, and as a front approaches from the north, the increase in humidity with that front, that's going to give us the chance for showers and thunderstorms. Now, you're not going to need to get the umbrella and the rain gear out and use it continuously all weekend long. The best chances look to be on Saturday, perhaps into Sunday, as this front slides on in and encounters that really warm, muggy air across the region. Now, as it shifts on to our south here by later Sunday, the better chances of showers and thunderstorms may shift away from us for a bit. So if you've got, say, Sunday evening fireworks shows to attend, and by the way, if you text the word fireworks to our text line at 314-425-5355, we'll send you a link that'll tell you where all the fireworks displays are, because in some communities, it's Saturday night, and the chances for storms a little higher on Saturday night. Some areas are doing fireworks on Sunday night, and then a lot of areas are actually doing it on the 4th of July on Monday. Temperatures won't be terrible over the weekend, right around 89, 90 degrees for the high. Pretty typical, but look at next week. We're back into the heat and humidity. Temperatures go back into the mid and upper 90s, and it looks like it will be mainly dry, very slim chances for showers and thunderstorms at that point. So yeah, we're going to need the umbrellas at some point this weekend, but it's not a complete washout.
All right, we'll keep watching it. Thank you, Scott. Sports is next. Frank?
Well, thank goodness the Cardinals get to play the Marlins every year. Good for your winning percentage. And stick around. We're playing Hit and Run with Travis Ford and new Mizzou coach Dennis Gates. The Marlins are like Christmas in June. No team in National League history has harpooned the Marlins like the Cardinals. After tonight, the Birds are 46 games over 500 against Miami. On behalf of all of us in St. Louis, thank you for coming, and don't go changing. Now, Ali Marmol is making some nice decisions lately. How about deciding to play Edmundo Sosa tonight? Good idea. This triple to the gap scored a streaking Brendan Donovan that cut the Marlins' lead to 3-2. The Cardinals are the best two-out hitting team in the league. Tommy Edman hits, Sosa scores, and we are tied at 3. Now the lead. Dylan Carlson delivers with a ground rule double, and the Cardinals take a lead they would never relinquish. Then the bullpen took over. First, Junior Fernandez, who throws 100 miles an hour. Next, Giovanni Gallegos. And Ryan Helsley got the save by striking out the side. His ERA is .30. Is that good? And the Cardinals got the 5-3 victory. Hey, help could be on the way soon. Steven Matz pitched 2 scoreless innings in Memphis tonight. He struck out 3. Matz was on the injured list with a shoulder issue. Jordan Hicks pitched an inning tonight in Memphis. He will pitch tomorrow in Memphis. While those two will be leaving Memphis soon, Moises Gomez will be arriving. He was promoted from Springfield today, and why the heck not? 23 homers, 54 RBIs, and an 1100 OPS. The 23-year-old Venezuelan outfielder is the surprise of the organization. So we often play hit and run with a sports celebrity, and tonight, something really fun. We play with 2. Travis Ford and Dennis Gates are the 2 most prominent basketball coaches in the region. SLU and Mizzou won't play each other on the court, but tonight they play on 5 on Your Side. How many free throws right now do you make out of 100?
Oh, I'll make 95 or more.
I'll give myself 90.
Could you start on your team right now at Mizzou if you were 21 years old?
I would be a first-team All-American.
No, I'm not beating Yuri Collins out. No, I'm not.
Best coaching mind you've ever been around?
Rick Pitino.
Leonard Hamilton.
Best place to eat in your respective cities? St. Louis for you right now.
Oh my goodness, you had to do it. A new one is Louis.
I would say mine is Nourish. I eat at Nourish every day.
Best advice your wife gives you about your profession? What do you take away from your wife to help you?
To help me, just smile more.
I got a long list. No, her big one of lately is 24 hours. Let it rest for 24 hours before I react. Surprising to you, I react fairly quickly to some things I probably shouldn't. Let it wait 24 hours and address it.
No basketball in this world, you would have done what?
Stockbroker.
Oh, wow, that's a good one, Coach. I took my GMAT and LSAT.
Worst part of your job?
I don't look at life that way.
He hasn't been doing it long enough. There's definitely challenging moments. We've had, had a lot here in the last 2 or 3 months, a lot of challenging moments.
I'm going to ask you that question again in a few years. See if there's anything bad.
It'll stay the same.
Travis Ford and Dennis Gates.
24 hours, wait 24 hours. Very good advice for everyone. It started out as a necessity during the pandemic. Coming up, now it's a workplace perk for a majority of American workers.
Let's recap some of the big races tonight from that Illinois primary. The race for GOP nominees for governor with more than 80% of the precincts reporting now. Darren Bailey, the clear winner with more than 57% of the vote. He will take on incumbent J.B. Pritzker in November.
And in the District 15 congressional race, Rodney Davis has conceded the race to Republican Mary Miller. She walks away with almost 60% of the votes that are in right now. For a complete list of all the election returns, just text the word results to 314-425-5355. We'll send you that link.
Well, more than half of U.S. workers are now working from home, at least part-time. A new survey found that 58% of Americans say they can work from home at least 1 day a week. That's about 92 million workers, and 35% have the option full time.
This is when our lives changed. The iPhone turns 15. The age of the smartphone started on this day back in 2007. Although the first generation iPhone was cutting edge at the time, the camera's quality, the ability to edit, filter, and share photos instantly, that was not part of it yet.
You realize how it changed everything, and it's so recent. 2007 wasn't that long ago.
2012, I remember being at the Olympics and all the athletes were in trouble because Twitter was becoming a thing.
Right.
And they were tweeting stuff they shouldn't be tweeting.
Right. And many still are. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.